Okay, we're live.
Good morning. It's not Sunday Bunday today, no bun. But that's because I wanted to, excuse me, come outside and I wanted to show everybody what this place looks like because everybody knows we're moving the cabin. We have a date, which is going to be like a week and a half from now, which is such a relief to finally have a date. I just was beside myself not knowing when. So that helps. Like, whew, at least I know. And then I am tearing my porch off, which was a really big porch. It was 8 by 20. And I built it so good. I hate tearing my own stuff down. It's just been such a hard job. But as you can see, no porch up above, no, because it had a ceiling on it and everything. And there it is, the big, big beams. I was so determined to push those things down this a few days ago. I'm like, I'm going to get them off here. So I was a little nervous because I was like, got all the supports off, and I said, I hope they don't fall this way and hit the cabin and everything. So I was like, just pushed, and you can see how big it is. It's like pretty big and sturdy. And I just pushed it, and boom, that thing fell. And I'm recycling as much of the wood as I can. So I just really want to reuse it because a lot of it's like still good, like it was the roofers that were underneath the roof up there, the rafters, those were still good. And this decking here is like, you can see it's not perfect, but I'm going to pressure wash this. That way it'll get all the sand out of the screw holes. And then I'm just going to unscrew this decking. And again, it's like perfectly usable wood. And then if the end of it's like a little rotten or a little funny, I'll just cut that off with the saw. And I'm using all this wood to do animal shelters, super extra sturdy animal shelters, which is going to be so cute. I'm going to do a couple, I was going to do a couple hen houses, a couple coops over there, because I'm going to have like different kinds of chickens. I'm going to have the sweeties, and then I'll have some feisties. So I'm probably just going to have 2 smaller hen houses, which I'll build out of this stuff. So anyway, I just like to show people kind of the progress because I know I've been talking about it for so long and like not really showing anything because really we're exhausted by the weekend. We just work so hard all week because not only am I taking care of this place still and all my animals and trying to mow and keep it decent, but I'm also traveling to my new property and like building and doing stuff over there and mowing. So, oh my gosh, I just can't wait to like be over there and then sell this property and just have one property. That is the kind of person I am. I just don't like to keep up on 2 properties. To me, it's so hectic. It's not relaxing. I want to homestead because I want to relax and have a very, peaceful, relaxing, nature-y life. So this has been like, whew, so hectic. That's why we have not been making actual videos. We have been doing a lot of live streaming just because of how hard we're working and it's more convenient that way. But anyway, so it's so funny though because all my animals, they totally know something's up. It just cracks me up how every single one of them, they're a little more clingy to me. And like they almost like don't want to let me get out of their sight. Like wherever you're going, we're coming too. So they're like extra clingy. They somehow think I'm leaving them, and they're just sticking close. Like you're not leaving us behind. Even the cat, it's just so funny. Which of course I'm spending extra time giving them all lovey-doveys and like feeling like I have to reassure them like my little children, which they are. I love them all so much. And so I was going to walk around today and just like show you all the animals and how they're doing, but I can't do that because of the internet connection. We just don't have fast enough connection to walk around, just to go off.
But if you want, you could come a little closer to the camera, like come here and to the side a little bit, like right here, and then we can just kind of pan around and you can point stuff out.
Okay. So you can see that's the horses' dry lot pasture over there, and they spend a lot of time there because, I have a donkey, a mule, and a mountain pony. So they cannot just eat nonstop. They'll just be so big and fat and unhealthy. And so they have to spend a lot of time in the dry lot, but they have a little grass field over there. And then, of course, I feed them healthy. So they're very healthy. And you can tell by Thunder, he's very old. Nobody can believe it. All my friends are like, he's going to live to be 45 because he's so old. He's fat. He's like 100% sound. We just crack up with that pony. Well, you can see they're standing over there. I don't know how clearly they can see, but they're at the gate. And Charlie's more of a loner, my mule. He's like over there by himself. He's scratching on the tree. He's so funny. Can you see him? He's looking at him go back and forth. He's like itching his side there on the tree. He's so funny. So anyway, okay. So they're not quite as clingy as the other animals. You know, they can tell something's up, but they're not as clingy as the other animals. Neil, he's actually Neil, come here. He's coming in. He's going to come to the fence. He's actually crabby. He is like the crabbiest. You know, we call him our old man now because he's kind of an old little potbelly pig, but we love him so much. But he's almost a little crabby with the move. He doesn't like it. Animals don't like change. They don't want to be shuffled around. They just like their life and chill, and that's the way they like to live, which is so cute and just such a good pace for people. They don't like a lot of ruckus going on. So he's a little crabby, which I give him extra lovey-dovey's and reassure him. And my cedar tree here has gotten so big.
Careful.
And it's doing so good that it's just, I can't believe it. How I had like 20 little baby cedar trees, and I was so excited that I had them. Somebody gave them to me. I just fussed over them so much. Like one by one, they all died, and I was just like, what am I doing wrong? So finally, the last one, we're talking, they were like this big by the time, you know, I planted this one. They were even smaller when I first got them, but they just, all of them just died in the pots, just died. So finally, this last one, I'm just like, I'm just gonna plant it, and I'm not gonna touch it. Just don't touch it. All my fussing and watering and it was killing them, I guess. I was just doing too much. So I planted this one, and I didn't touch it. I just planted it, and look how big and good and beautiful it is. It's just couldn't be going taller and growing so fast now. So I love that tree, and I named it Patty. That's its name, Patty. Some of the trees on my property I name, and I have named some of my trees on Homestead Park too. But once we get over there, I'll show you. But anyway, that's the only tree on this property that I've named. But I named that one Patty. Okay, so anyway, we can't really see the chickens though. Everything's
If I come this way, maybe they can see it.
Because that's why I started talking about the tree. I was going to say it blocks my chicken coop now.
You can see them there.
Oh, can you see them? Okay, so I only have 5 hens. I only have 5 hens left. Here, I'm going to come down here. I only have 5 hens left because, you know, some of my older hens have slowly died, of course, of old age. And then I don't want to get more. It's been, I don't know how long it's been since I've had new chickens. Quite a while though, because if somebody gave me babies or I had babies, I would rehome them just to, you know, my friends and family and stuff. And so I've just kept these same ones because I had enough. I mean, I just don't overcrowd my chickens. So I want to get more, but I'm not going to get more until I move because it's just too crazy, too hectic. Once I'm over there and I'm moved, I'm excited to get more and to build really cute little hen houses over there. And of course, I'm going to show all that. So anyway, there they are. They're my girls, and 2 of them barely lay. Like they'll just lay once in a while because one's old, and so she'll give me an egg once in a while. And then the other one, I don't know, it was like a dud hen. She kind of never laid good at all. And just like, I've probably gotten, out of all her life, all these years, I've probably gotten a dozen eggs out of her. But it's fine, we don't care. Like, she can still live here, and we still like her and take good care of her. But she's the bug brigade. She just eats bugs. She's not a good layer. But it's Dum Dum's daughter. That's the funny thing. We call her Dee Dee. It's, because you get it, Dum Dum's daughter. So we call her Dee Dee. And she's a sweet hen, quiet, minds her own business. Just like you would never even know you had her. She's just so quiet and mellow. But I don't know, for whatever reason, the parts inside aren't perfect and she does not lay. She just doesn't lay eggs very often. But anyway, so there's my guinea hen, which is so funny. She's the oldest of them all, Bubby. I just love her so much. And she's over there, but oh my goodness, she's the cutest thing. And she keeps the eye on me the most. Like she knows something's up because she's so smart. She watches everything. And I'll tell you about Bubby. She's so smart, like way smarter than chickens. Guineas are way smarter than chickens. And she's like motherly. That's the funny thing about her. If I am in my yard after dark, like doing whatever, like feeding or checking on somebody or something, she knows I'm out here and she does not want me outside. After dark, she's like the mother putting me to bed. She will sit over there and she has this very specific cackle. And she will do this cackle non-stop. Like, she's like so annoying. She's very patient, but she's just like telling me, you better go in the house, you better go in the house. And she just cracks me up so funny. I'm like, Bobby, I'm like, stop, I'm gonna go in a minute. And if I'm out here for an hour, she will do that noise for an hour. Like she just never stops until I go inside. So she's so funny. And she's just like very motherly, but she has a cute personality. So we love our guinea. They're great for eating the bugs around the yard. And if you have a really big property, you know, you can let the guineas loose. But if your property is pretty small, you have to be careful because they're very strong. You know, they're athletic. They're like a mule. You know what I mean? They just have extra powers and they'll go everywhere. They will not stay on your small property. They'll be down the street. They'll go in the neighbor's yard. Like she's going to the neighbor's yard and she'll stand in front of their porch and scream at them. Like I don't know if she's telling them get away, get out. I don't know what she's doing, but she's crazy and I'm so embarrassed. And I'm like, I hope they don't shoot her or something because she's just so loud and it's relentless. I have to go get her and I'm like, sorry, sorry. And I'm like going to get my guinea. I'm like, sorry, sorry. Apologizing because she's such a brat. And then another thing she'll do is like, no problem, no problem. She'll fly over the fence and be in the road. Like no problem. But to get back in, her brain turns off and she'll be like in front of the gate. She'll just be pacing in front of the gate, making noise. And I'm just like, Bubby, you flew over the gate. Just jump on top and get back in. She's so emotionally upset, I guess, about getting back in. She forgets. So again, I'll have to go get her. You know what I mean? I'll like, she knows I'm coming to get her though. She's like, Mommy's coming to get me. And I have to go get her. And
We got a $5 super chat from Tammy.
thanks, Tammy.
And it's the pair dancing and saying and laughing.
And so most people have to put a roof on their chicken coop to keep the predators out from getting the chickens, which I do have my little farm dog. I wanted you to show Mario's little doghouse. That's where he sleeps. So, you know, he's up on the porch here and he even though he's a tiny little farm dog, like if anything's going on, he'll come out of here and he'll bark and it's enough to keep everything out of the yard. So I feel sorry for him though, because I do think that's a hard job for him because he's not very big. But anyway, so most people have to put a roof on their coop to keep the predators out. No, I had to put a roof on my coop to keep Bubby in. Because otherwise, like I said, she'll be in the neighbor's yard yelling at the neighbors. So I'm just like, I gotta put a roof on my coop. Keep her in there so she's not causing trouble in the neighborhood. So she's just cracks you up. Because birds, just in general, chickens, ducks, guineas, are so funny and they have such a personality. And I just love birds and they just come in all different colors and attitudes and so funny because so we're over at Homestead Park working and lo and behold, what do we have? We have this huge flock of wild turkeys. Like they are big. And there's like two bunches of trees we have. I call them islands. Well, the turkeys like clearly go from one island to the next and they have to cross the field to get to the next one, which I try to mow and keep it nice. It's like a meadow, you know what I mean? Oh, there they go. Never as a group, I noticed. Turkeys don't travel as like a group like this. They don't go. Oh no, it's a string of turkeys. It's just like one, then like a line, a string of turkeys going across from one island to the next. And it just cracks me up because I say they saunter. They just like, They have long legs, and they just saunter over, slow as can be. And it takes them forever for the string to get all the way across. And I'm always like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And it's just, there's like 12 or 15 of them. Clearly it's a family, or 2 families maybe. But I'm just so happy to see it. We call our turkeys. We see them over there. So anyway, hopefully they stay. When we move in, we don't scare them away, which I don't think we will. I think they'll stay. Although one island is going to be in a horse pasture, actually, eventually. So
They're going to be very upset.
I don't think they're going to like that. But they can manage. They'll figure it out. You know how animals are. If you're nice and calm about stuff and give them a chance, they can rearrange themselves and figure it out. You know, as long as you're not like chasing them and trying to get them or something. But they are funny. We do enjoy them. How big they are and everything.
Do you want to talk about what we're doing to move the homestead? Just go over everything, because some people don't know we're moving the cabin. So just want to go over everything we're doing.
My cabin, but you gotta see if you can get this far and just show the shot from right here. Like my cabin looks so little without the porch. I look at my cabin and I'm like, it's so tiny without the porch. Look at him.
Yeah, I see them.
Okay, anyway, listen to Bubby. Bubby hears him too.
These animals are crazy. Look at Bubby.
Look where he goes though. Poor Mario. Poor Mario.
Yeah.
Cause look, he has his own.
But look at Bubby. She's on alert.
She knows something's going on. So I wanted to let Dum Dum out today. Let him.
Well, we can't. If I go, I think I'm already at the limit. If I go any farther, we're gonna lose the connection.
Okay, we don't want to lose the connection.
But we want to just talk about what we're doing to move.
Okay, so what we're doing to move is we told them they would have moved the porch, and so we're like, why bother? It just makes the cabin 8 feet longer.
But we're moving our cabin. We're not building a new house at Homestead Park.
No, for me. Scott's gonna build his own new house, but I'm not. I'm taking my house.
We're moving
with
the
me.
cabin.
I'm a turtle. I'm taking my house with me. This is my big shell. I gotta take my shell with me. So he comes, the guy comes, you know, of course they say they'll move the porch if we want to, but over at Homestead Park, if you can just see where I'm standing and see this, what I want is to have a veranda on the ground. Like, I don't want the porch, so there's no point in them moving it. We're just gonna have the porch off, and it's gonna make the cabin even smaller to move. So it's just easier to take it off here, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, this is such a pain in the neck, you know, maybe I should have left it on and all that, but I'm like, no, I just want to get it over with, get it off. They'll put the cabin over there, and then, you know, that'll be that. So anyway, and then interestingly, I thought like they had the foundation already built, and they just drive the cabin over there on the truck, and like, I don't know how. I just didn't even know how. I thought they would just put it down on the already built foundation. But that is not how it works. They get the cabin over there and they jack it up, and then they like build the foundation under it, because I guess the truck can't, you know, it's hard to move it around. And then they just lower it down on the foundation that they've built under it. So it's quite an ordeal. Thankfully, my cabin is so small, and with a little crew of masons, I think they'll build that foundation super fast. Of course, it has to dry. It can't be wet cement in order to set my heavy little cabin. It'll squish all the cement out of the cement blocks. But, you know, it's inspected, and all that takes time, too.
We just got the permits, came through on last Thursday, right? Or Friday.
Yeah, we just got the permits, and they said it would after I did the paperwork, because there's always more paperwork. But people that go through the county and do things the right way, they're going to be intimidated by that paperwork. And they're just going to be like, oh, they want so much stuff. Just relax. Like, who cares? Like, whatever they need, just get it and give it to them. You have to have the right attitude. That way, everything's done right, and you can sell it. You can prove what you've done. If anybody asks any questions in the future, you know, you can just have it all done right. It brings it up in value.
Tito says, congrats on getting the permits. I know, I practically wanted to frame it. hang it on the wall and look at it.
I know. Wait, if you're building and then you get the CO when you're done, the final inspection from the building inspector, they give you this little
This is,
certificate of occupancy. That's what we did, frame that. I'm not even joking. Like, we framed it and hung it on the wall for a little while. We were just like, ta-da, we did it. It's like all the way to the end.
so all day yesterday, I was getting the temporary power pole ready.
Which was not easy because, first of all, he says I, but really it's us. We did it together. It was teamwork because, you know, I'm like holding the big telephone pole like level, and then he was like putting the dirt in. But thankfully over there, it's like clay dirt. It's not like sand, so you could just get a little bit in there and start packing it down. It like starts holding it steady already. And then the second hardest part. This is where I helped him. The second hardest part is pounding in the ground rods. It's like, of course, we forgot the sledgehammer. It's in my trailer. And so we're over there, and I said, did you bring the sledgehammer? And he's like, no. So then he's like, I have a regular hammer. Well, trying to pound in, how long were they?
8 feet.
8 feet ground bars with a regular
Two of them.
hammer is crazy ridiculous. Especially over there where it's not sugar sand, where it just goes shoop in easy. So of course we were pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, and just you get so tired because it's hard work after a while because you can't just like tap those things in, like you gotta like pound those things in. So we did it though. I'd pound, he'd pound. We just would take turns and rest, and we did it though because they want it like a foot beneath the surface. They want to make sure like you're never gonna run it over with the lawnmower or, you know, dig it up somehow if you're just digging a little bit. So you gotta really get them in there. But we did it. And so then he had to do the fuse box part.
Which I think, in my opinion, I think it was hooked up wrong.
It clearly was. I told you it was arcing.
You know, and it looked like there was burn marks and arcs going on between the wires. So I'm like, this looks like it was hooked up wrong.
Terrifying. Your fuse box should not be arcing. So it was definitely hooked up wrong. So it's just terrifying that somebody's living in there, and I'm thinking to myself, what, they wouldn't hear that arcing? Because I have an electric fence for my horses, and when it's arcing, you can hear it.
Well, then it also means the whole house was not properly grounded.
Yeah.
And so all your stuff in your house, that's how you get shocked on stuff.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And that is super, super dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
That's why the inspector wants to see the ground rods we had to pound in. They want 2 of them because being grounded is super important because you don't want to be the ground.
Yes, because that's exactly what happened.
You're
the ground.
You want those 2 8-foot ground rods we pounded in yesterday. You want those to be the ground.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the ground when you go to turn your stove on.
Don't forget, electricity wants to go to the ground.
Yeah,
and
so
it'll use you to
that's
get there.
having that wrong is really dangerous.
So dangerous.
You know.
And then he was gonna like, should we bury it? And I'm like, no, they're gonna inspect that. Don't cover it up with the dirt. Leave it open. So when they come to, you know, inspect it, they can see that we did it right, and then it's like nothing to bury it because obviously it's
well, because those only had to be a foot. The pound them in. That's the thing too.
Connecting one.
They have to be pounded in a foot below the surface. So I had to dig a foot trench and pound them into the trench. So when you bury them, they're buried a foot down, pounded in.
Yeah, and then of course it has the copper.
Big fat.
Connecting the 2 round wires.
4-gauge. Big fat 4-gauge copper wire.
Yeah, you gotta just do it all right though. You have to do it the right way, and so whatever. We love to tackle every job. We just take each job as it comes, and then you just do that job and enjoy doing it. It's like, don't be like, oh, we're gonna do this. If you start out with that attitude, anything you do on the homestead is gonna be so miserable. You have to just tackle each job with joy. You know what I mean? Be like, okay, this is the project we're working on, and you have to enjoy doing projects. Like we do enjoy doing projects. Thankfully, I pass that on to my 2 sons, and I watch them now as adults. Any project they tackle, they just have the best attitude. They do it right, and then of course they're successful. You know, because
but you also got to keep it simple. You know,
that's
if it's huge, complicated project that you're gonna, you know.
I want a big rubber stamp that says keep it simple and just stamp everything, because that is the key right there. Keep it simple. Don't complicate it because you're only complicating it for yourself.
I mean, look at our cute little log cabin, but imagine if this was triple the size and 2 stories.
And had dormers. We're talking about building it, not moving it. Of
Well,
course,
even moving it
yeah,
though.
so easy.
But like if it was that to move it,
Yeah.
what a huge project that would be.
And trust me, I was tempted to go 2 stories and have a little loft on half of it. Oh my gosh, I was like, oh, it'd be so cute, so cute.
Well, my new house is going to have a
Little
loft, so maybe you
and-
could visit.
He's not gonna.
I'll
he's
let
not
you
gonna do
visit
that
maybe
thing.
once every 3 months. You can visit my
Yeah,
loft.
I'm gonna be like, go home, get over there. I'm joking. Of course, we're gonna go back and forth for dinner. If he cooks dinner, I'll go over, or breakfast, whatever, something. Oh, Doodles, he wants to go.
He wants breakfast.
He's like, come on now.
So do you want to talk a little bit about actually how we're going to move all the animals? Like how that's going to actually go down?
Well, of course. Well, I'll probably try to just use my horse trailer, to tell you the truth. Of course, the horses just load up in the horse trailer. They're all trained well.
But like how the pen and do the move like
Oh yeah. Well, right now the horse, I almost have the little horse barn done completely. My recycled boards helped me, and then I'm just gonna have a pretty big corral around there. It's gonna be another dry lot. It'll probably be 100 by 100 or whatever, 80 by 100, pretty big. And then of course we'll just move them from here over to there, and then the pastures will expand out, as we have time, which it'll be easier when I'm over there.
and then really what I want to do as soon as the cabin's settled and we pay the mover, once he's paid and done, my mission in life is going to be to fence in Homestead
Perimeter.
Park around the whole perimeter.
Perimeter
Because
fence.
we've been talking about how in my old house that I sold and here, one of the biggest pain points we've had over the years is not fencing the whole property in around the perimeter, which we never had the money for it. But we're going to make it happen for Homestead Park because just that, I think, is going to be something that caused us a lot of suffering over the
And
years.
just get it done right away. First
And just
thing.
fence the whole property in.
We learned our lesson. Well, in the beginning, I think I've even done a video about homesteads and how if you don't have the money to do the perimeter fence right away, you can do just pens for all your animals. And you can do
But the
that.
problem
I've
with
done it.
no perimeter, which I've suffered over the years, is every neighborhood dogs wander far.
Yeah.
So every neighborhood dog wanders in and bothers your chickens.
Everything comes to our place. We've had a bull come over, and I look out there was a big bull in my yard. I've had little miniature pony, dog, just anything you could think of, just comes to our place, which I kind of laugh. I'm just like, they know where to come. But then again, you're like, when the bull's over here, I'm like, what do I do with this thing? I'm kind of scared of it, you know what I mean? But thankfully, the owner came right away looking for it. But that thing showed up twice. It came back a second time. So clearly
And wasn't there a little pony that kept coming?
a little miniature pony kept coming
Right,
over.
this little pony
Yeah.
just appearing.
And I oh, this thing needs a trim. I trimmed its little feet. It had a tangled tail.
If your
and
animal
mane.
wanders into Becky's homestead, it's gonna get like a spa treatment.
It got a little treatment.
And it comes out looking better.
I combed it because it had a long mane and tail. I combed it all out, trimmed its little feet, and then I did find out the owner, which they weren't able to come down here, so I brought it home myself. And here was like, here comes this cute little pony. It's like all after a spa day. And I'm
So
like,
people want to know, Monique wants to know what we're gonna do with this property.
I'm gonna sell this property. So this is a very nice property, and I just die laughing because a lot of my friends come over. We ride, so they'll come over and they're just like, "This is such a nice property. What are you gonna do with this property?" And they're all like, "I can't believe you're leaving this property." And that was before I showed them Homestead Park, and I'm like, "I know, I love this place. I never thought I would move, but." It's just so busy around here now. I just feel, for me, it's busy. Obviously, for a lot of people, this would feel like the boonies.
But also,
There's
Homestead
nowhere.
Park is a very nice upgrade.
I just wanted
And
more
it's
room.
within our budget. We're not going
Yes.
overextending something too expensive or too
That's the
crazy.
key.
But it's in a nicer area, and it is a very nice
Private.
upgrade that we
More
can
private.
afford.
That's the thing. We waited. We didn't bite off more than we could chew for our first homestead. And then, now consolidating also makes it easier. We're going to be consolidated. So it's teamwork, financially, physically, in every way. It's just going to work out better.
Yes, Cornelia wants to know if we're going to have visits and seminars at Homestead Park, and we would like to. That's the plan.
We would like to.
And I
do
think
that.
our barn, we're going to build a
Yes.
barn first. Before I build my house, I'm going to build a barn, like a barn apartment,
Yes.
a barn apartment. and it's gonna have a very nice big porch.
Like this one.
It's gonna be that layout, similar but better.
Yes.
Where it's gonna have a building on one side and a big porch on the other.
Bigger building.
And
yes,
I figure we can have seminars on the porch part, or and then there'll be a bathroom in the building part.
To cook and everything will be.
So it's gonna be like that, but better.
Yeah. And it's so funny though, because I put so much thought into this barn because I wanted to get something cheap, but I needed it super functional. And so that's really just a carport that was normally lower on 7-foot legs. And then I did the fancier roof because I wanted it to look nicer. So, I just did bits and pieces to design it myself. And so it's so funny how literally all my friends love that barn. And I can't tell you how many of them are like, are you taking the barn with you? Because they know I'm moving my cabin. And I'm like, I am attached to that thing. I love that barn. But no, I'm not bringing my barn with me. The barn is staying. For when it's on a slab, I mean, it's good. That's a nice
I think it'll increase the value you can sell this
it.
place for.
It'll be nicer for somebody that gets this place. I was telling Scott the other day, I'm like, really, for somebody that's smart, they literally could turn that into a house. They would just need to extend the front like 5 feet to make it the 600 square feet that's required, and then fill it in, fill the sides in, put some windows in it. Like literally somebody for not that much money could turn that into a cute little cabin themselves. So that is what people have to think about when they're buying property. Do your research, know what the county requirements are, and then you can see a building that you could convert, you know what I mean, into a very small cabin. So
I think the more I talk to people and get to know different people and hear how much they pay for their houses and stuff, I think one of the keys to happiness in life is to figure out your housing that's not a fortune. If you're paying $800,000 for your house, you're gonna have a hard life.
That's a load. That is a load. Because that is in your head every day of your life. Just like, wow, that's, how you say a ball and chain? Well, you're gonna have a ball this big around. If your mortgage is $800 and a big fat chain connected to you, like, who wants that? You want to cut that chain and be free and go do stuff. Just, oh my goodness, you don't need all that. It's so funny how, if you think about it, you just realize it. Like, what do you really need, Of course, housing is very important, though. Don't think I'm, acting like, yeah, go live in a tent. Because
no, but if you it's almost like taking responsibility. Most people almost treat buying a house like they're buying a pair of shoes or something. Like, let's just go shopping and buy one. And all those TV shows teach people to just do it like that. We're shopping,
they make it sound
and
so fun.
we're gonna buy it like we're buying shoes. But it's like you need to take responsibility and be like, I'm gonna be more involved. Even not, you don't have to swing the hammer yourself if that's not your ability level, but just be more involved and find a deal. You can hire people to do work. Just be more involved, not like you're just buying a product.
And once you get your housing taken care of, you know what I mean? That is number one on your homestead. Don't worry about buying animals. Don't worry about fencing. Just get your little secure, nice house taken care of. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be sturdy and safe. Get that taken care of. Then you can start doing other things. You know what I mean? That's what I did. So, and it's worked so perfect. You just have less stress and you feel happy. When you feel good, you're healthier. You have a healthier lifestyle. And that's the whole reason of doing homesteading, is to try to get those big things in life taken care of so you can chill and enjoy life. You're just not worried about stuff, where you've just burned yourself down and you're filled with worry. You want to be filled with joy, not worry. So, and people do it to themselves. Nobody makes you buy a big house. Nobody clutters up your house. Nobody gets you into a bad deal.
We got a $2 super chat from Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
With no message, though.
Thank you. So, we just try to just constantly encourage people over the years that we've been making the videos Of course, I try to show how fun homesteading is because it really is fun.
Yeah, Barbara, if you have a question, just write it like normal in the chat and I'll read it. Because I think Barbara didn't forgot to type it in.
Oh,
So I'll keep an eye out for it and I'll read it when Barbara writes it.
okay. So we do want to show everybody how fun homesteading is because it is such a fun lifestyle. Not only is it like peaceful and relaxing, which is very healthy. Once you get stress out of your life, it's very healthy. But on top of that, if you start doing your projects and stuff, it's really fun. So fun. So that's why I just encourage people to do it, just so they can experience that lifestyle. So we just try to give tips and pointers to people, of what not to do and to try to do certain things, like make sure you do certain things. So hopefully I'm helping you to take those steps towards your homestead that you want to get. And you don't have to have a big one. Like I started out on this one, it's smaller, but let me tell you something, it keeps you busy. You do not have to have a huge homestead, you know what I mean? You can have a pretty small homestead that will keep you outside, active, happy, busy. You will have plenty to do.
Bryce wants to know if they should have all the exact same breed of chicken so they get along.
That does help. That does help not having drama in the coop, for sure. People that just go, and I did this in the beginning too. You're just like, oh, I would basically go by color because I wanted a colorful flock. But I'd be like, oh, I want that one and that one and that one and that one, and get all these different colored ones. But what you realize over time is different breeds have different personality traits. And that's why I'm going to have two coops on Homestead Park. I'm going to have the feisties, which have the stronger personality. And then there's the sweeties that are just mellow and sweet. And if you mix those two, there's going to be bullying going on. And of course, the sweeties are going to be the ones that suffer because they're just not feisty. So you do have to be careful. And so if you pick one breed, it is easier. You'll have a more peaceful coop and you'll probably get more egg production just because when things are calm, those chickens lay much better. Chickens are so affected by stress. Their egg production, their health even, it just gets them down health-wise and then they're just more likely to catch all the chicken viruses that go around. So if you want to try to keep your chickens all natural so you're not giving them medications and stuff, and you want great egg production, those are my goals. I realize everybody has different goals out there, so, like, whatever. But those are my goals, you know what I mean? I want to try to do as natural as I can, medication-wise and everything, and then I want good egg production. So those are my goals, and so I try to have my coop set up for that success of what I want. So for sure, picking all of the same breed is going to, go towards that goal of you're going to have great egg production and things will be calmer. Now, within the breeds, and I'm going to tell you the breed that's most likely to be different are those Buff Orpingtons. Some of them are so sweet, just so sweet, and they're so beautiful. Those big poofy gold chickens, I love those things, which I'm going to get more of them. But once in a while, I don't know why, you will get a crazy wild Buff Orpington. And instead of being a sweetie, it'll be a feisty. It'll be noisy, it'll be feisty, and you're just like,
It's a rebel.
yeah, you're like, hey, wait a minute. You don't go by your looks. Like, you look so beautiful. Like, you should be Goldilocks. You shouldn't be like feisty girl. So anyway.
And we're going to get some more bantams for Jules.
Yeah, we're going to get him some girls. But anyway, so that is one breed where you can get all the same breed and you still could have a couple feisties. I'll never forget, one time we had 3 of them. We had 3 Buff Orpingtons. And 2 were just so chill and sweet and beautiful. And we had one feisty that was just noisy. And you want to know the funny thing is, the feisty one lived the longest. She probably stressed out the 2 sweeties. Like, if I had 2 coops at that point, that Buff would have went in the feisty coop.
We got a $5 super chat from Tito.
Thank you, Tito.
I have a 15-month Australorp rooster. When should I expect him to start crowing? Do all roosters crow?
Oh, yeah, they crow. Yes, they do.
15
crow.
weeks old.
Yeah. You got just wait. When they're like 4 months old, you can really start noticing. So
They'll start
or
doing like a
5.
baby rooster crow.
Like, you know how when boys, their voices change when they're going through puberty? Well, the chicken will sound like that. You'll be like, it'll like, he'll try to crow and it'll crack and sound funny. And you're just like, oh, his voice is changing. And then pretty soon, you know, as they get older, of course, they get stronger because it's a very specific posture if you watch a rooster crow. And so they just develop those muscles to get into that crowing. They like bend their neck funny to get in that crowing posture. So the older they get, like the louder the crow gets and all this. But it's like, I don't know, you shouldn't be all excited about the crow because chickens, roosters are a pain in the neck. Some of them just will not shut up. They're
Yeah,
just
the thing where they
constantly
crow at sunrise, that's just a myth. They crow 24/7. They'll crow at 2 in the morning, 11 p.m.,
some of them
1 in the afternoon, when any
all
time.
day long. Some of them, you are just like, shut up. Like, what are you crowing at? It's almost like you get a rooster, a dumb one that does that. It's almost like a dog that just barks at everything, and you just have a barker. You just like, shut up, you know. Well, you can get a rooster that's the same thing, just a different animal. Which I don't like those kind of animals because I find it just takes away the tranquility on the homestead. Like, you can tell we're talking all this time, and my roosters aren't crowing. So really, thankfully, mine are not noisy roosters. I notice if they do their rooster dance really good, and they're just a really good rooster, and you pick a good one that does the rooster dance good, I find those aren't huge crowers, you know, that crow a lot. So yeah, there's definitely an art to choosing a good dog and a good rooster. There's an art to it. So, you know, you gotta, maybe in time you got to you know, you'll learn that better. I don't know. But anyway, that's what you have to do. So maybe don't be too anxious for your rooster to start crowing because once he starts, you might be
It's like when your baby
"Shut
says their first
up."
words, they're like, "Oh, my baby said their first words." And then fast forward, you know, a year later, they're like, "Please be quiet. I'm on the phone. Quiet, I'm on the phone."
Settle down, quiet down. You get little jabberjaws, which that
Somebody
was
says,
me.
"Where's Bubby?" You can see Bubby. She's
Oh,
right there in the doorway walking
she's on
away
the
from
left,
us.
walking down the fence
Her
line.
back's to us right now. You can see her. I
She's
can't walk
behind the
closer because we
window.
don't have a good Wi-Fi connection.
That's the problem. We wanted to walk around today. We thought, oh,
Barbara
let's walk
is
around.
just Barbara, just write a question in the chat like you just did, and I'll answer it.
So anyway, so that's what we just wanted to touch on today. Just a few things, you know, like that. Just talking about moving, tearing the porch down. So this week, what I'm going to do is take this decking off. Scott's like, don't take the decking off. I'm like, it's coming.
Well, all I said is just
There's no
leave,
bridge.
like just leave a path to the door.
No, there's not because there's not going to be that because this box sill's coming down. The whole thing's coming
Well, then
down.
I would just take these stairs. These stairs are pretty new, and just move them to the door.
You're going to be jumping out of the house.
Well, why not though? These stairs are nice and new-ish,
I'm
and
gonna.
just move them to the
No
door.
kidding. Duh. I'm gonna.
Don't be so far away because people can't hear you.
And the reason I'm going to do that is it's not for Scott, it's for the Fifi. How will Fifi get out? She'd probably jump down to the ground though. She is a feisty little thing. But anyway,
She's a princess. She needs special treatment. You can't have her roughing it.
I'm going to have to take the stairs off and move it closer so Fifi can get in and out, and the cat. So, oh, they're just going to be in the side. They're already, just this makes them like all crazy. Mario's doghouse is going to be down on the ground. So, so funny. Okay, well, anyway, so we're going to stop our little video for today, and we will see you again next Sunday, and maybe we'll come out here again and show you more progress. It'll look even different.
I'm going to look into, they make like extenders, Wi-Fi extenders. I'm going to see if I can get maybe like a weatherproof one or something. I'm going to look into that, and maybe we can live stream and really walk around the homestead.
Yeah, really walk around and talk.
Because we'll use that at Homestead Park too.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to feed all the animals and let you guys like see them up close and stuff, but it just didn't work out. Sorry. Scott will figure it out though.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, I'll see you next week. Same time. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.